Hello YouTube, Sidekick here with another installment of the Iron Bomber's Guide to the Galaxy. Today it's just a short video to take a look at one of the A4 instant action missions. This mission is one that the A4 team allowed me to contribute as part of version 2.0 of the Community A-4E. Now, as of today, the 13th of February 2021, the final release of 2.0 is not out, so you can't get the mission that way, but you can get a hold of it through my Discord server. The link is in the description. When 2.0 is released, this will be part of the package. The mission we're flying today is called Harbour Bombing, and it may be a little familiar to anyone who remembers my Haiphong Harbour mission. Basically, the target is over this ridge. We're more or less here. As we approach the harbor, you can see that some of the targets are marked with different colored smoke marks. The green smoke mark is a dockside facility. The red marks are ships at dock. And the blue mark is a big bulk carrier that's in the middle of the harbor. And you can basically take your pick of the targets. All you have to do is pop up over the ridge, identify your target, then line up and roll in. Now, for the video today, I'm going to fly the mission twice. On the first run, we'll bomb the oil facility marked in green, and we'll do that in manual bombing. And for the second run, we'll attack some ships and use the bombing computer. So, having had a good look at the target area, let's go jump into the cockpit and get started. Okay, we're in the cockpit, and the simulation is paused. The first thing you may want to do is hide your control column so you can see the weapon panel and switches. For the first run, we're going to drop the whole stick of bombs, so let's set the weapons quantity to 6. Now we'll set them to ripple off one at a time and put a 200 millisecond delay between them. So we lay a nice stick all across the oil terminal. Next we'll select pylon 3 because the bombs are all on the center pylon. And then we'll set the selector to bombs and the master arm to on. Finally, we'll put 80 mils depression on the sight and we're ready to go. Okay, we're off down the valley. Since the harbor facility is fairly far into the harbor, we can go down the valley a little ways before we pop up. And we'll start popping up now. And first we're just going to pop up straight, gain some altitude, and once we've gotten up a little ways, then we'll roll to the left so we can actually see where the targets are and plan our approach in more detail. Yeah, so somewhere around there. Let's take a roll in. Okay, so the facility is a little ways into the harbor, and it's angled such that we want to pull back a little bit to the right, probably, to give ourselves a good roll in. We don't want to be too close, don't want to be too far. That's looking good. Now we can start coming back to the left. The objective here is to try and fly sort of a slow curving approach and a left-hand turn, because that way we can keep the target in sight over the left-hand side of the cockpit. I've got to jockey a little bit here. That probably was a little too close. Okay, that's better. Still just trying to play with it, get to the right roll-in point. Coming up on the roll-in. That's not looking too bad there. Right about there. Okay, pull the lift vector towards the target. Top of the scale, which is the flight path vector, we want to rotate around the target. And we want to pull that flight path vector up into the middle of the harbor there and release. And that's a pretty good stick of bombs, I think. We'll fly around and take a look at it. So the description of the approach probably went by a little quickly there. If you want to know more about what I was talking about, you can check out some of the other videos in this series, the Iron Bomber's Guide to the Galaxy. We talk about how to fly an approach, and I do a lot of them in the A4, although the older flight model, but maybe that'll help you understand exactly what I was saying there. And if you already know, then I guess you've been following along as we've been talking about. So that looks like a successful run. All right, so let's go back to the beginning, and we'll try it again, but this time we'll go after the ships, and let's use the bombing computer this time. The setup is similar. But this time let's plan to make more than one run. So we'll set the quantity to 2. We'll set a shorter interval this time, but we'll still ripple them off in singles. Next we'll set the selector to computer. Now note that when I made this video it was still labeled labs, but in the version 2 release it'll be labeled CMPTR. Next we'll reach down to the left and switch on the radar to air-to-ground mode, and we'll select pylon 3, and we'll set the sight depression, but this time we'll only need 20 mils. And finally we'll set the master arm on. And we're ready to go. Okay, so this time we're going to turn a little bit earlier. It's the way I want to plan the approach. I want to start into the harbor a little bit to the left of the target, then pull back to the right and keep it on the left, so that we can roll into it a little bit more smoothly maybe than we did the last time. So we'll turn to the left and we'll start going up. And same as last time, we'll get up a little ways before we roll over and look for the targets, but this time we'll be rolling over to the right. And we just peek over the nose and see we're headed in a pretty good direction. Targets are going to be well to the right, which is what we want. Pull up a little more strongly. Okay, targets are on our right-hand side, getting up to a decent altitude. Now we're going to roll back to the right and get the target off our left-hand side, off the nose, and then try to fly to the point where, again, we can fly a nice curving approach to the left so we can keep the left wing down and we can see the target as we're rolling in. Now this time it's going to be really important to line up properly, because we basically want to drop the bombs along the length of the ship. Give us the best chance of hitting it. So yeah, this is a better approach. We're just keeping the left wing down, slowly increasing our roll until we're just at the right spot, and then we're going to roll right in. Now with the bombing computer, when we get the pipper on the right spot, we're going to hold the pickle button, and then the bombs are going to come off when the bombing computer decides it's time. So same thing, we get the flight path vector aimed where we want to go. We're just going to let it pull up, get it on there, and we're going to pickle, and we're going to hold as we pull up, and the bombs go. And there we go, nice hits. All right, so this time, you know, that big bulk carrier looks like a nice fat juicy target. So let's see if we can put 4 bombs into her. So we'll pull up here and start coming around. And off screen there, I set the selector to quantity selector to 4, but I left all of the others the same. So same thing, we're trying to plan our approach, trying to fly a circle around, try to end up astern of the ship and in a straight line. We want to keep a nice left-hand bank going so we can keep an eye on it. And good high altitude this time, so we'll have lots of time to line up. Getting close. Getting close. Don't get in much closer. Hold it there right until about there. And now we're going to pull down again. We're looking 20 mils up from the pipper is our flight path vector. We slowly want to curve that around until it's on the stern of the ship. We'll pull up and pickle and hold, and away they go. And we get some nice vapors coming over the wings as we pull up, and we get some nice hits. So let's go around the corner here and see what we have wrought. That was a successful mission as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little quick look at one of the instant action missions with the A4. I hope you download the A4. I hope you try these missions, and I hope you get a lot of enjoyment out of them. If you're enjoying the channel, please like and subscribe. And for now, This is going to be Sidekick, signing off.